that meat does not look healthy.
It is. Believe me. I just bought it.
Why does it look so gray?
That's the way it looked.
What's your best before? You know what? Just fucking do it. I'm not gonna judge your shit. So what are we making today, Dan?
We're making some tourtière.
Is this recipe anything like grandmama's?
It's a runoff of it.
Why don't you make it the way she makes it?
Because I like it the way I make it.
That's a valid reason.
This is lean ground pork, lean ground veal, lean ground beef.
What's your guess? Is that a pound of each?
More or less. Whatever the grocery store gives me. What?
Just making sure it doesn't look like a happy color. It smells fine. It's probably just compared to the pork, right?
That's right. There will be some seasoning done because I'm adding some leftovers in it. Some leftover miracle juice here from cooking spare ribs.
You're going to scrape all that fat off the top?
Yeah, I can tell you don't know how I cook. Well, not use the whole thing, but...
No?
No. That'd be a little bit too much.
That's the drippings from the ribs?
Yes. Now I'm going to add some seasoning, some onion flakes and garlic powder.
Let's call that a dash.
When I taste it, it'll tell me whether I did it right or not. A smidgen of cloves and cinnamon. This is where I dash very lightly. Cinnamon, okay. But I don't use a lot. It's a pinch. There we are. I've got it on high just to get it started here. And we try to blend all three meats together. I lit it just to keep the heat in. It helps cook faster. Now I'm opening these pie shells that I buy. That's easier than making my own shells. I don't want to advertise for Tenderflakes.
No, you have no choice.
They won't pay.
You have no choice. So that's deep dish pie shells. Are they all deep dish or do they come in different sizes?
There's different weights. I look at the weight here in the corner.
350 gram.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's some with 320. I try to get the heavier ones. These I would like to have flattened out. Got to try and get it out of there. That's what I'm trying to achieve. Oh, and I forgot my magic ingredients. Potatoes. I use it as a binder to keep everything tight together.
Do you salt your water?
I will. A little bit of salt. It looks good. I'm just going to let it cook a little while longer before I taste it.
So the rib jus in the fat is not part of...
No.
Where did you come up with that?
I mean, normally people throw that away. I like the fat, so therefore I kind of keep it.
How did you cook your pork ribs?
I roast them like you would a roast.
Right.
So that's why I can get all this. It's in the bottom of the pan when I'm finished.
Any seasoning?
I use this beef bouillon. I put some Montreal steak spice. Usually I cook a couple of onions in it.
Well, I don't see any sign of an onion.
Well, no, I throw the onions away when I clean it up. I just take the onions out.
Okay. So in order to make this meal, you have to make another meal prior to this meal.
Basically, yes.
Okay.
It's not where I want it to be. This is Montreal steak spice. Just adding some to it. for a little more flavor. Oh, now I'm getting a shot of it. Now the taste buds are happy.
Oh, damn it, that tastes like your tourtière.
Okay, at 400 it says preferred oven temperature. Potatoes are almost ready. Right now I'm going to turn my oven on. I don't want to overcook it because we freeze these and we take them out later on and then they cook again. If I cook them right through, what happens is they get really dry, and that's something we don't want. I'm flattening out these shells that I took out earlier on in order to make lids for the tourtière. I'm going to pour the water out of the potatoes. And the amount of potatoes I put in is only to bind everything together. It's not to give it a potato taste.
You just pulled that out of the freezer.
Well, they keep a better shape, and they'll thaw out fast once we put the hot meat in.
So you like to compact it?
Oh, yes.
Now that you got a potato in there. Right.
Hey?
This would bang on.
Now try to. Now I will attempt to seal the edges.
What are you going to do with this meat?
It's called, you don't let it go to waste. That's my supper.
Well, that's your supper? Well, I shouldn't eat too much then.
Go ahead, eat, don't worry.
You poke it, eh?
Well, to let the steam out. If you don't let the steam out, it'll just, this way the steam can get out.
Middle rack?
Yes, middle rack. Oh, I should set the timer for 10 minutes.
What you making now?
Petit pet.
Oh, you are going to do it, aren't you?
It only takes a minute.
Much as I like the tourtière, I could easily just eat a pot of that beef. It's pretty good.
I know.
That's a lot of flour for a guy who lives on his own. I can't. That's crazy.
The price was right.
I'm sure it was. A little brown sugar.
A touch of cinnamon. La cannelle.
Do they just go in the oven with everything else?
That's right. Put it on the bottom rack, that way it'll cook faster.
What do you see in there?
Well, it's too white, it hasn't crisped up yet.
So you want it to brown up a little bit?
That's right, it needs to brown up. I just give it another 5. We'll check it then.
I can't believe how little cinnamon and cloves went into that, and yet I can taste it.
You know, there's something there, but it doesn't overwhelm.
So you say that's 18 minutes right there?
Yes. It should be just about perfect. As soon as you get them out, all of a sudden you see how well done they are. Probably could have went 1 minute less. That will do.
All right, is that it? Are we done?
We're done.
Well, let's have a pitsy pat.
Go ahead. Oh,
shit, the fucker's hot. All right. Well, Dad, cheers.
yes, all the best to you.
Thank you for doing this.
You're more than welcome. Take the last one. That's 3 each.
It'll be a treasured recipe.